Welcome to a new world of entertainment. The ultimate entertainment platform. Featuring, from Winkler Pictures and Mike Up Gaming, Mike Winkler. From Condiment Games, Jeremy Larson. Jason Kabasic. The Forsaken Avenger, Martin Houston. And returning to the crew, Alistair Engelhart. Created by friends. Listen to our podcast and watch live discussions on Facebook and YouTube. Gaming streaming featuring Mike Up Gaming and Forsaken Avenger. And written movie, short film, and television reviews. Subscribe to our podcast and visit our site for more info. Welcome to LCA Entertainment. On this episode of our podcast,
I admire its purity. Survivor. Unclouded by conscience, remorse, or delusions of morality.
an LCA Entertainment Retrospective series.
Satan, your kingdom must come down. Satan, your kingdom must come down. I heard the voice
We revisit
of
the franchise.
Jesus say, Satan, your kingdom must come down.
That took the world by storm.
We're gonna pray until they tear your kingdom down. Pray until they tear your kingdom down. I heard the
On this series, we review Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Prometheus, and Alien Covenant.
And exclusively on this episode, Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem.
You have my sympathies.
The Alien franchise. Welcome in, fellow Alien lovers, to LCA Entertainment. Back to the Retrospective series. Jeremy Larson here with me, and Jason Kabasic will be joining us here shortly. So, the tail end of the Alien franchise that is kind of a toss-up for a lot of fans.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, you're transitioning from what was the incredible dumpster fire of Alien Resurrection and going the opposite direction, going the prequel route. I feel like the 2000s through the 2010s, both of those decades had a lot of prequel movies come out, and Alien is definitely one of the top tier when it came to the prequel stories. Like, holy moly.
Yeah, I remember when I saw the first trailer for Prometheus, I was really excited because I thought, oh, great, we're going to get the origin story to the Alien franchise.
Mhm.
We're going to see how the xenomorphs came to be, maybe start to see their civilization, whatever. And then I remember seeing it, and I remember being about 70% through the movie in the theater, and I'm like, this is not what I expected.
Mhm.
And I almost thought, what the hell am I watching? This is not an Alien film.
Mhm.
And we see that xenomorph, in the last half hour of the movie that just kind of feels like it's thrown in because, oh, it is an alien movie after all, so we got to put
Right.
one in there.
Right. I think it just dives more into the workers versus the company agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, does it just ever play off so perfectly for David?
I love the character of David, though. I will tell you, if there's one thing I could take away from these two movies, Prometheus and Covenant, it's the character of David. Hands
Right.
down. Yep.
Oh, and I'm blanking on his name.
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, the performance is just mind-blowing.
He's so good.
Like, I feel like I have to watch those two movies again just for his performance alone.
Well, I remember this came out around the time I believe X-Men First Class did as well, when he took over for Ian McKellen's Magneto.
Right.
And I remember him being fantastic in that, and I'm just thinking, wow, this guy's a future star. And really, he did become a future star, and I'm actually kind of disappointed that he actually didn't go out and do more, because after the X-Men films and Assassin's Creed, which another disappointing video game film that could have been so much better, but he made that movie pretty good for the most part just for his performance. But he's kind of one of those actors where I wish he would have done some more mainstream work, because he just makes everything he's in that much better.
Right. He enhances whatever project he's working on.
Right.
And these movies reminded me a lot of the very first Alien movie.
Same kind of themes, same kind of feel.
Except for the fact that there was a very big difference between the David android versus Ash from the first one. Ash was more fleshed out. He had a lot more personality, where David was just like, he wasn't monotone. I'm trying to figure out the right word that I'm looking for it. But he played a very, very precise character. And
well, I knew from the get-go there was something going to be wrong with him. I don't know.
Oh no! Well, yeah. This, like I said, it plays into the company versus the working agenda. Like these people had absolutely no idea what they were getting themselves into, especially with the fact that David was on board, and David is just, conducting his little experiments throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, and then when it goes into Covenant, especially, it's just like his character just goes so far down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the one question I've always had about this movie is, I mean, it's my question mainly for you, is that when we got into all the mythology of the engineers, and what was your opinion on knowing that the xenomorphs really weren't like an alien species that was just out there that just kind of got created, that it actually ended up becoming a creation of somebody else?
Right. I think you'd have to have a very sophisticated mind coming to bring forth the alien in general. Like, we've seen what kind of chaos that this creature brings, even in just a single versus a horde of these things rampaging across the countryside. The creation had to have been methodical. It had to have been well thought out. And David had his time. He had a lot of time to just go, all right, what can I place here? He was going to be extremely precise. And to think that it was not the engineers, but it was a combination of engineer technology and David's know-how that forced this incredibly dark and twisted creature.
Yeah, that scene in Covenant where he takes down the one of the crew down to that basement where all of the face hugger eggs are. Oh, that sent chills down my spine that I had not felt since Aliens.
Yes, right.
Yeah, and I just thought, this guy's following David. I'm like, he's up to something. Don't be following this guy. And then I see the eggs. I'm like, Why are you proceeding further in after seeing all these eggs? What are you doing? Does this
Right.
seem normal to you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, I just I feel as though because Ridley Scott came back, who did the original Alien, came back and
Mm-hmm.
did these two.
Yep.
I felt as though he wanted to do another Alien film, but he didn't want to make it all about Alien. I don't know if he
Mm-hmm.
felt as though he had to reinvent the franchise to make it feel fresh, and that's why Prometheus felt so different from the rest of the franchise
Mm-hmm.
as a whole. I mean,
I had thought of something that I wanted to bring up to the two of you when you got on, but Prometheus and Covenant completely screw up the timeline of Alien, and when it intersects with the Predator franchise.
really, I gotta hear this.
So this movie or the first Prometheus take place in like 2089.
Hmm.
But we're looking at even go back further to Alien versus Predator when it's in modern times, and you find out that the aliens and Predator have been longtime enemies ever since the pyramids were built.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So these two movies completely cut out and decanonize the Alien versus Predator films as it's fan fiction, basically.
Yeah. Well, I always thought that I never really treated AVP as part of that universe. I always kind of considered it like its own multiverse kind of thing. It's going on over
Right.
here while this is going on
Right.
over here because, like you said, that pyramid storyline, I was scratching my head like, yeah, Prometheus kind of negates that being a possibility, because, he's creating these aliens pretty far beyond present day. So there's no way these
Right.
xenomorphs could exist. But yeah, no, you're right. It pretty much wipes that out just with that little flashback sequence in AVP alone.
Yeah.
Hmm.
With that, it's like, okay, so how many we're dealing with the alien multiverse?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, I'm one thing that puzzled me about Prometheus is how I guess this goes to Covenant too. At the end of Covenant,
Yep.
the ship that David's on, where he still has the eggs and the two lead actors that are left,
Yeah.
he puts them in the tubes. That's not supposed to be the ship that was crashed at the beginning of Alien 1, is it?
No,
Okay.
it's
I
not.
didn't
It's
think
actually
so.
the big one that they took off with in the first movie.
Hmm. So, do they say how long between Covenant and Alien is the gap? Like, what's the time gap there?
What year does Alien take place? 2122. So that's only 30 years after Prometheus. Not even 30 years.
Wow. Huh. See, that's where I'm left scratching my head about that Alien TV series we talked about they're going to do, how it takes place mostly on Earth. Where is that going to fall into the whole scheme of things with this timeline?
You got me on that one.
Yeah.
Whatever they're thinking, I think they're doing two separate things. They're trying to reinvent the franchise,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not really caring about continuity.
Yeah, they've kind of wiped that out by now.
It doesn't really matter at this point what happens because 18-year gap between Covenant and the first Alien. I don't see.
Yeah.
I don't see any possibility of going back in time and making that a good thing. Because now that if you were to make another one back in like modern day or even close to modern day, you're still ending up with continuity errors with the aliens being made in 2104 or whatever.
Yeah. Doesn't match up.
Nope. Unless someone made it beforehand, which also just like how do two people come up to the same conclusion in creating the character or creating the creature?
It just doesn't match up.
It doesn't.
No.
And if they're gonna do it for funsies, and I don't know how. If it's gonna take place on Earth,
There's so many
I mean,
problems
you're
with
already
that.
done.
Yeah, there's so many issues with that. I don't know if it's going to deal with the politics of the Wayland Industries or whatever, but if that's the case, it's not really an Alien series at that point. It's about
You turn it
politics
into
and Wayland. That's not what we're looking for,
a
you
corporate
know?
drama that's just called
Yeah.
Wayland.
Yeah, that's what they should do. Is just call it Wayland or Wayland Industries and just call it a day. Don't call it Alien. And they did just recently announce that they are doing another Alien film, and Ridley Scott's going to produce it. But
Yeah.
supposedly, what I'm hearing, it's not going to be tied into what's been done before.
I don't mind that at all. I wouldn't mind them branching off to a different storyline, one that doesn't involve Ripley, one that doesn't involve
Yeah.
the Wayland-Yutani company. Like it always stems back to those two things that are constants.
Wayland's always
mind-
lingering.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I always felt like there was some sort of weird scientific perversion that that Wayland-Yutani had for this creature. Like it had a science, hard on for it.
Yeah.
I was just like, you've seen this happen in 3 separate instances of how many people are dying, and you still
too
think
many.
that you can control it after all this time.
Yeah. I don't get it. It's like after it happened twice, it's like, why would you go back a third and a fourth time to say, hey, we still want this. We still want to break this down, experiment on it. No.
Right.
No, there's so much wrong with that.
Oh, this could save the agriculture industry. Oh, yeah, I'm sure acid blood is really going to enhance your corn.
Yeah. And my question is, okay, what proof do you have that it's actually going to do that? If you've never actually gotten an alien physically, then how do you know what it's really gonna do?
Right.
It's all jumbled.
It doesn't match up. It just doesn't match up.
No.
Another thing that confused the heck out of me, it might have been explained in the movie, I just completely forgot. But David's head gets ripped off of his body at the end of Prometheus by the engineer.
That's right.
And then he comes back in the second one, or is the same guy, right?
Yeah, I think at the end, what was the lead girl's name in Prometheus? Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Shaw.
Elizabeth Shaw. When she gets on that other ship, he all of a sudden is there, and I don't remember if there's an explanation or not as to how he reattached his head or something. But he does show up at the end before the movie ends, but I don't remember what the explanation was.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and watch again.
There is no explanation.
Yeah, I'm just alive. Hello.
It's the same thing as somehow Palpatine returned. Somehow David returned.
Oh, that line. Oh, yeah.
I kid you
that
not.
reminds me.
That's been sitting around all the time, and I got things to tell you about afterwards. But
okay,
I've been in discussions with.
That's going back to Elizabeth Shaw. That's my biggest gripe. The fact that she gets shunned and pushed to the side in Covenant. It's like she survives Prometheus, and it's like it doesn't even matter once we get to Covenant.
Yeah, because she died. Like she died from the crash. Oh, of course she died from the crash.
David survives, but she just dies from the crash, right? That's just convenient.
Mysterious. I would say that David made sure that was the case. Like,
oh yeah,
she would have interrupted his work and everything, and
said it wasn't humane and blah blah blah.
There's so much about these two movies that just screams like horrible. Like it's absolutely horrible.
It's like they're sequels to each other, but yet they're not. It's almost, they feel like it's like Prometheus was trying to be a different kind of alien movie, and because the fans didn't respond to it, Covenant went back to some of the Alien formula and added a little bits of the Prometheus stuff in there to make sure it was kind of a sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, they even added Alien back into the title because they felt pressured.
Honestly, I would love an Alien movie that doesn't connect to any single Alien, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, AVP, anything. You make me a brand new movie with brand new stuff, no cameos, very little exposition in the way of background, and I will eat that up.
Well, that might be what you're getting with that new one coming out.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it might be. I literally am thinking that they basically are saying reboot. That's basically what they're saying here. Full on reboot.
Now watch, all the aliens are going to be the that weird alien that we saw in the an Alien Resurrection at the end.
That really fucked up looking one. Oh my god. Oh
That's
man.
they're all going to be.
Oh, bringing up
That's.
bad memories of Resurrection.
Oh
Yikes.
no. But it's just there's so much going on in these films. It's hard to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to watch a summary, and David and Walter, I think his name is in the second film.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Walter. Mm-hmm.
They're so freaking shady the entire time. It's like they're not even trying to hide the fact that they're being completely
Mm-mm.
shady, and that's what scares me about it, is because you have no idea what they're capable of in the light.
That's what I don't get. Like they're both being so genuinely creepy in every situation. They're talking with the crew, even when
Mhm.
they're together, and the crew just like they don't think anything of it. They're just like, oh yeah, this seems normal. I'm gonna go with it.
I think because of the fact that most androids came as like a standard issue model that weren't as advanced as David, so they
Mm-hmm.
kind of treated him as subpar compared to what he actually is.
That's a good point.
And what bothered me is that, Mr. Wayland showing up and trying to get the key to him living forever from the engineers or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was in the very. He was in the end of Prometheus, and then he appeared in the
Mhm.
beginning of Covenant. And
As a
that's another
younger
thing.
guy.
Yeah, yeah. Now was that Wayland was not the Wayland from
I don't
the
think it
other
was.
movies? Yeah, I
It
don't
couldn't
think
have
so.
been.
Uh-uh.
No, it wasn't. They didn't use the same guy.
Mm-mm.
No way.
But
And it
yeah,
just it bothered the hell out of me because there's so much lacking here. I'm like, wait, why are you sending him now? What's the mission? What is the mission that you're trying to accomplish? I've
mhm.
never understood it. And I think that's another thing. It's just that we're not supposed to.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to be left scratching our head like, okay, that's what you're there for. Okay, I'll go with it. Whatever.
Make a sneaky, shady decision over and over and over again.
Well, that's exactly what it feels like. It's like everything in this movie is just like roll with it. Don't question it. Roll with it. And as I'm looking over here, I'm watching this part of Alien Covenant, and I'm thinking, I don't know why I didn't pick up on this before. Do you notice that Prometheus and Covenant do almost the exact same story here?
Mm-hmm.
They both go to a planet. They both find something weird on a planet. They both get stranded on
Yep.
a planet. It's kind of almost like, you know what? Prometheus was okay. We're just going to redo the movie again
We're gonna
with
copy
more
and paste it.
aliens.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
We're gonna copy
Oh.
paste it and make sure that the characters that they conveniently are not there or they are there.
Yeah.
We're just gonna we're gonna give the people what they want. It's fan service.
That's what Covenant basically is. It's basically giving the fans everything. There's a checklist. Okay, we're going to see this. We're going to see that. Okay, we ran the checklist. Movie still didn't perform well. Now what do we do?
They need to figure out a new playbook because the script isn't working anymore.
No. And I think actually, I think Disney buying Fox for this alone is actually good, because I think Fox would have bled this thing dry,
Oof.
until it got utterly terrible. I think
Right.
Disney coming in and actually saying, hey, we like the franchise, but we want to reboot it and do something different.
Mhm.
I'm not a fan of some things Disney does, but this might be a blessing in this regard for this franchise.
Well, we'll see the birth of the alien Disney princess.
Oh God. Don't give Disney any ideas. They're going to hear that and they're going to go, well, that might sell some toys. Gee. Yeah, let's add that in there.
So technically, now that they own it, that makes an alien queen Disney royalty.
Oh God. Oh God.
This
They
is why
might
you don't
actually roll with that. They may actually roll with that. Wow.
Get it in a pink dress and everything.
Yeah. And at the end of the movie, a little princess is born. Now we have a princess
Oh
alien.
no. Oh no.
Oh God. Disney would.
Let it go. Let it
They
go.
would. Oh. Yeah, let's turn Alien into a soft
Alien?
musical. Oh. And then they'll say, you know, let's bring Predator in while we're at it. We'll make it a full-blown musical.
Oh gosh. Alien
Jeez.
versus Predator, the musical, presented to you by Disney.
I wonder when they made Prey, and Prey only came out on Hulu.
Mhm.
Was Prey in production before Disney bought them, or was that a Disney 20th Century Studio production?
I don't think it was Disney.
Was it still was that being made by Fox before the acquisition? Because I'm wondering if
Oh, I did not know that.
what's that?
I didn't know that it was owned by Disney.
Oh, 20th Century Studios now? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is new information to me.
Yeah, they took over every Fox property, which was Predator, Alien, Die Hard, any Fox franchise. But yeah, and I don't know if Prey was still being made before the acquisition or not.
Right.
I'm kind of hoping it wasn't, because it could be a good sign of things to come if it wasn't. If it
Mhm.
was before the acquisition, then we still don't know what Disney has in store for these.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. I'm surprised the Alien series is going on FX instead of Disney Plus.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I just watch Alien on Disney Plus. That just sounds like
Wrong.
it's not supposed to be there.
No, it's like you're gonna see that and you're like, don't think that should be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What did you think of the cast of characters in both Prometheus and Covenant, the crews?
I liked the cast better in Alien Covenant because I felt like it was a more dynamic crew, and there was more diversity between the crew members.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Each had their different personalities, where I felt like everybody in the first movie was the same company worker, and they all died in stupid ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Shaw seemed like the only one with a shred of common sense in the film.
The only one. Yeah.
Right. Like this was like if Ripley was dealing with a bunch of diehard workers that were so intent on pleasing the company that they would have died so much faster, and I don't think Ripley would have survived the first Alien movie with that kind of crew.
No. Oh no. She probably would have been one of the first ones to go.
She would have been in cryosleep with an alien queen in her belly. Well,
Yeah.
While Ash would have been looking over her, just kind of going like that.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that crew was so similar in so many ways. Like, I even look like it's Charlize Theron's character playing the captain. First of
Oh,
all, the role
God.
she's playing, I mean, it's like the same character I've seen in other movies see her play. There's nothing special about her character. She's not playing it in any special kind of way. She's very ignorant. She makes stupid command decisions.
But because her dad is Mr. Wayland, that's going to be okay.
Yeah, anything I do is gonna be okay. There's no consequences to my actions.
Mm-hmm.
She dies way too late in the movie. She should have died sooner because she was just that stupid.
And she dies by getting rolled over by a 3/4 donut, like going down. Like she couldn't have run to the side, like everyone in that movie.
Yeah. So on top of it, she gets kind of a shit death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no one in that movie really was likable. I can't really think other than maybe Shaw a little bit. She obviously was the most likable character.
Right.
Not that that's saying much, but you're right. The Covenant crew, everybody had their own character traits, and I don't want to say they really were stupid. Some of them were a little stupid, but there were some smart qualities in all of them.
Right.
Danny McBride's captain. I still can't believe Danny McBride was in Alien Covenant. Still can't believe that. But he makes kind of the dumb decision landing the damn craft on the planet with the bad weather.
Right.
He gets blinded by the fact that his wife's down there, and but
it's just there's so many bad. These movies are ripe with bad decision making. There's always the one character who makes the plan and everyone does not follow it to the T like they were supposed to.
No, never.
So that's it.
I don't really know what else really much to say about these movies. I think we pretty much covered those two about as much as we can.
You can't dive into it without nitpicking at this point.
No, there's nothing like, I think if there's one good quality I could take away from Covenant, I liked where the film ended to set things up,
Mm-hmm.
but the downside is we're never going to get the follow-up.
Right.
So the one great thing about it doesn't mean anything.
I like
Uh,
I like having an ending to a story sometimes, and then to begin a movie, you can make up something that happened almost directly after those events. Like,
mhm,
make it so that there's a finality in it, not leave a cliffhanger off of every single movie.
right.
I did like the visuals, though. The visuals of those movies were pretty cool. Like, I
Oh, yeah,
thought
everything
that,
looked great.
yeah, it looked great. It was the acting, the plot line, acting outside of David.
Yeah, yeah, the one standout amongst it all.
But everything else, like I loved how it looked.
Yeah,
It was
I
iconic.
liked the visuals. It looks like it fits in the Alien saga with the way it looks.
Mhm. Yeah,
I'll give it credit for that. It's just everything else. It's just there's
it's
just so
hard.
much wrong with it.
It's hard to say any other things that are good.
I can't pick out many, unfortunately. I can't even really think of that many right now. I'd have to give them both full rewatches and just kind of make a little list of, all right, that was okay. Maybe I was harsh on this. I
Right.
definitely wasn't harsh enough on this.
Hmm.
Um, so what would you give them grade wise, even compared to the other four?
Out of what are we doing this grade scale again? Was it out
How
of
did we
10 or was it out of
do?
5?
I think it might have been out of 5. Let's go out of 5.
At best, I can maybe give it a 3. I both of them at 3. Maybe even Prometheus is just a 2 because of it just
Mm.
it doesn't it's not anything that's memorable.
No, I forgot
Even
about it
as,
after I saw it.
yeah, even as we're talking about it, it's like, yeah, I could have watched this movie a week ago and it's not memorable enough to hold my attention so much to go, oh yeah, that happened.
I can't really remember like a moment that like in that whole movie that really stands out as like, yeah, okay, that's the scene the movie will be remembered for.
Hmm.
The movie doesn't really have one of those.
No,
Like at all. I mean, I can't think of a moment that I'm like, "Oh yeah, that was a fantastic scene." No.
no.
Wow. I'm really trying hard to think. I really am.
And I'm
Cup,
watching you. I'm watching you. People who are listening on the podcast, you have no idea the turmoil that you can see on Mike's face right now
my head
as he
hurts
tries
just
to
thinking
figure
about
out
it.
something good to say about these movies.
Okay, I'm gonna try to say something good about Covenant. This will be a little bit easier. Um, I think anything revolving around what David does in Covenant is memorable.
Hmm.
Any scene he's really in after he meets the crew, yeah, I could say, you know what? Those scenes that where he shows the one crew member the eggs and he gets attacked for the first time, and
Hmm.
even when he's playing the flute with
Walter.
his it was with Walter,
Yeah.
that's even memorable because the fact that Fassbender's playing off himself there. He
Yeah.
just does it so masterfully. You want to watch how to be an actor, take a master class? That scene
What?
could be a master class scene.
Right.
Okay, so my brain doesn't hurt so much now. All right. Cleared that up. Fuck you, Prometheus. If I ever want a headache, just think of that movie.
Oh, I
Um,
mean, we're diving right into the next couple of headaches of alien movies.
well, at least AVP is at least somewhat salvageable. The first one.
Yeah, AVP had a lot of promise. It had potential. It had potential
Did.
to bring in not just those two, but like a lot of other sci-fi, like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of other aliens could come into that.
It could have been the start of a wider franchise. The first one could have set the table for something really good. And the fact that we get Requiem after that,
Right.
I'm scratching my head like, why?
Oh my gosh. If there was one alien movie that I wish was just not made, would be Requiem.
It's just so bad.
Like,
It's
I
so
consider that
bad.
one worse than Resurrections.
Oh yeah, it's definitely worse than that because at least Sigourney Weaver was the saving grace in Resurrections,
Right.
where this movie has nobody.
There
Nobody.
I couldn't tell you who played the main characters or even the
No.
main group of characters.
I think there was a older female, and I think it followed a couple teenagers, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the teenagers that were just so in love.
Oh god, the teen angst. A teen angst in an alien movie. I'm sorry. No. 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 That right there. I'm in the writer's room. Who said, "Oh, let's add teen angst into an Alien Predator film"? Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, and the thing is that relationship is the one of the only things you're really like half rooting for,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get killed too,
Yep.
and in the worst ways possible.
Well, what you can see, that is.
Oh yeah. Alien Requiem. If you watch the movie, make sure to turn the brightness up further
All the
than your
way.
TV will go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't be able to watch the movie.
I'd like to know how they're in an editor's room and they're saying, "Yeah, you know what? That's good enough. We can
Look,
see a little bit of it."
you know what, Mike? I'm over here. I'm gonna be the main guy in charge. Mike, this is a dark film, so we
Yeah.
need it to be actually dark.
So,
In
so, you
all
want, so you want me to
physicality.
go darker with this?
Go darker. We need to go darker.
But what if
Oh,
we can't
make
see it?
Don't make it so that they can almost see what's going on.
So you just want to see the outlines to save money on the special effects. Got it.
Pretty much.
Which is exactly what they did.
Yes. But I mean, going back to the first AVP, I thought it was a really well thought out crossover between the two franchises, especially for its time in the middle of the 2000s. Like you're looking at this and going, okay, this is legitimate. This could actually be legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
They're up in Alaska or was it Antarctica? One of some pole. They were at some sort of ice pole, and they were just going, all right, we found
Antarctica.
this really big heat signature really far down. And then suddenly the next day, oh my gosh, there's a hole open for it. Like there's a hole there.
Yeah.
What could have made this? Nothing I can do. And they don't question that either. They don't. They're just like, oh, you know what? This was meant to be. Let's go down there and check it out.
That's what gets me. It's like, what if you can look at this, no human device could make this thing.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's just a little strange? Like,
right.
I'm going to go in the hole anyway.
I'm going to go down that hole. Yeah.
Oh there's the first part. See, up to that point, the movie actually makes some pretty smart decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets to that point, it's like, okay, well, this is the route we're headed.
Well, I thought, okay, the lead of that film, I can't remember her name, and I do apologize to our listeners for doing this. This has been a while.
Oh yeah, I
Alexa
know the name.
Woods.
Yeah,
I thought that she had a really stellar performance through the whole thing.
She actually did. For a movie of this caliber, she actually did really well.
Right.
Really well.
And the fact that they brought back Lance Henriksen to play Mr. Wayland.
Genius.
Phenomenal. And I thought that was a really good, that was all of the Wayland insert that I needed. Like that's all I needed.
Yep. That was a nice touch. To me, he is Wayland. He's just the embodiment of Wayland. When I think of Wayland, I immediately think of Lance Henriksen. Immediately. That he's it. Anybody else playing him like in these other offbeat, off-color alien wannabe films?
Yeah.
Oh, let's put somebody else in that role. And Lance was still alive. Why wouldn't you just reuse him?
Right.
Why? I mean, you have a perfectly good actor. No, we got to go cast some other guy.
Mm-hmm. Naturally.
Whatever. But
I thought the sequence of the temples always shifting nature was really cool. The fact that every expert that they brought in was dying off in different ways, whether it was to the actual aliens or the entirety of the group that was stuck in the sacrificial chamber with all the eggs just suddenly popping up. And I'm like, wait a second, where'd they get the eggs? Oh, they must have a queen down there.
Yeah. I liked the way, like you said, this movie has so many good ideas, and a lot of it is well executed.
Yeah,
it is. And I think it's just that like you said, so much more. There could have been something that could have been. They could have played up these ideas. They could have done much more with the depth. I mean, I like the background with the pyramids and the explanation. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been maybe expanded upon a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like why did the predators come to Earth of all places? Like what made Earth the target, the place to do this?
Right.
And like the aliens, were they always here or did they bring them here? They didn't really expand on that enough.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that to figure out a lot of the Alien and Predator lore,
Mm-hmm.
you not only have to watch the movies, but you have to read the books and you have to play the video games to kind of start piecing a lot of it together. And that's a lot of work for someone to do who's into that franchise. I was only lucky because of some of the games that I played. One of the games I actually can't find anywhere because it is so old and it's not available on any like recent console. I can't play it on my PC if I wanted to. And it actually includes the Predator Alien hybrid in that game. And I'm going, man, that is a cool idea way back when I played it. And then they came out with Requiem, and I'm going, okay, to see a Pred Alien.
Literally.
To see that combination of what that would look like, which I will give it its props. I think the Predator Alien mashup looks fucking terrifying.
It does.
When you can actually see it in the frame.
Exactly.
But it came with such a lacking storyline, and it almost it kind of gave me a Resident Evil feeling of a movie in Requiem.
And what's kind of funny about that too is that the first one was directed by the guy that did the Resident Evil movies, and the sequel Requiem was not. So it's kind of funny that they like embodied like what he did before, and they just tried to. Wow, yeah. No, I could kind of see that they were trying to kind of go for that wild. We can go crazy with this idea like Resident Evils did, and that's the shame because there are so many shots of that Alien Pred combo that you just can't see because it's so damn dark.
Right. I think that's that could have been saving cost on CGI because they wanted to make it sort of a mystery when it came to that.
Yeah.
I will say though, they did take it too far with that movie. I was not a fan of the direction they took with the Predator Alien, to where it was, shoving eggs down pregnant ladies' throats, and then it was
overboard.
It was overkill. Like, I get the horror aspect, but this is just downright cruel.
It's cruel. It's a little gross. I mean, I'm not one to say gross for alien films, but that was like, okay, you took the whole concept of the alien eggs or the face hugging thing, and you magnified it times 10. It's like that's just way overboard.
Right. It was too much. It was too much.
No. How did that film end? What was the setup?
The setup was actually at the end of the first Alien versus Predator, when they took that dead Predator up into their spaceship, and then the Predator the Pred Alien breaks out of the chest, and then like it grew at a crazy rate. Ridiculous rate, to where it was able to crash the ship with 2 other Predators on it.
Yeah. How did Requiem end? Was there another setup at the end of that one that was setting up a third one? I don't really remember if there was a setup.
I don't think there was, but it was. It wasn't memorable.
No, I think the best part of Requiem, I could pick one good part, was the beginning. Was when when it comes out, attacks the ship, and it crashes. That was a cool scene.
That was
that
was the good part. Yeah.
When I saw that part and I'm watching the movie, I'm like, okay, I'm down for this. This is a good start, and then everything just goes gradually downhill, like really, really quick.
Really like they took small town USA, and then they infested it with aliens, and then suddenly they're giving these kids and ex-military people a bunch of guns and trying to get them out of there. Like, where are you gonna go? This is Earth. They're gonna get to you wherever.
Yeah.
Like, take as many of those guys out as you can.
And the thing of it is, like, they could have at least added in characters that were at least memorable or intelligent, smart, brought something to the table. No, every character in Requiem is either dumb,
Mm-hmm.
stupid, brings nothing to the table, or you're asking yourself, why are they here? Why?
This Alien versus Predator Requiem, it not in plot wise, but in like cast compensation, reminds me a lot of Predator 2018, I think it is. It's a lot of
Oh, yeah.
it's a lot of alien on alien stuff with humans just getting in the way.
Right.
And that's most of the movie of Requiem. It's the pred alien fighting this predator who has no regard for anyone that's trying to help take this thing down,
Right.
and like takes out a good portion of people in the process.
You're kind
It's
of
like
right.
what's causing more damage? It's just the two of them. That's it.
I mean, Requiem really is what the Predator was. You got it
Mhm.
pretty much nailed down, because the Predator also took place in a smaller town, much like
Mhm.
Requiem. Um, the Predator involved a kid. Requiem involved teenagers. It's it's all kind of the same formula, and I think this is because, I hate to say it, this was a problem with Fox for me down around the early to mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Is that if you look at a lot of their movies they were pumping out, especially action movies, or you
Mhm.
know, everything kind of had a similar feel to them. They were
Yeah.
kind of copying, pasting a lot of elements, and I hate to say that they even did it with their iconic franchises, and that's the sad
Right.
part of it all. You don't do that
Right.
with your iconic franchises.
Mhm. No,
So
I
I,
totally get that.
that's why I think Fox being no more, it may actually be a good thing.
Mhm.
Could be. Um, but yeah, I mean, shit, I don't even really even know what to say even about AVP other than what we just said. I'm trying to really,
Well,
I don't know.
like we're in the same stuck point as we were with Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
We've ripped them to shreds, and to find anything good about both of these films is tough because we can't see past what we had good for it.
No,
So
no.
I think
And
going forward, we should mention the good things about the film before we start tearing it a new one.
yeah, I honestly think out of every film that we have covered on the podcast, this might be one of the ones we've really torn to shreds the most.
Right.
This might be, wow.
This is
Yeah.
the lowest. This is the lowest of the low when it comes to science fiction, even science fiction horror.
Well, we could review Battlefield Earth. Then we really could hit a big, big low if you want to hit an all-time low.
I think I have that one on DVD in my.
Oh my god. I don't even want to rewatch that. I don't even want to relive that.
All right, everyone, put it in the comments. We'll create a poll. Should we review Battlefield Earth, one of the worst science fiction films ever, just to make Mike watch it again?
That would require me to actually have to pay money to rent it just to watch it. Oh my god. Please,
I can
God,
send you
no.
my other copy.
Well, that would be better than me having to rent it.
I love how
Although
you didn't question the fact that I had 2 copies of the movie.
The sad thing is you have to pay to ship that piece of shit. That's you're better off taking a shit and shipping it than shipping that. Damn.
We'll have a watch party. Ooh, you know what? It would be really fun to do a live stream of where we watch the entirety of Battlefield Earth, and we can rip it to shreds on live.
Well, we would rip
great?
it to shreds. That would be pretty great.
I just feel like we would probably get caught in a copyright because we probably can't
Show it
that.
on the screen.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Although I don't know why that movie would. Not like anybody's watching it anyway.
Well, they're gonna gain, their 0.2 cents off of their revenue, for that.
Yeah. We might actually give them some revenue at that rate.
Yeah, that's the only revenue they've seen in years.
Right. John Travolta at his ultimate low point of his career.
But no, AVP, I'm gonna have to at least put at a 4 because it's better than the other ones.
Yeah.
With Requiem being at a 2, I compare that.
Even that's being generous.
That is. No, you changed my mind. I put it to a 1. It's a 1.
That's where I'm at with it too, because that movie is just so bad. And you know what really knocks down to the 1 is the fact that you can't see half the shit. That's what really knocks it off.
It's so dark. Like I know that who was it that someone was complaining like a scene of House of Dragon, that new Game of Thrones
Mhm.
show. Like there is a scene where you just can't really see anything or something,
Yeah.
and it's just like, yeah, that's how I felt watching the entirety of Requiem. That's the entirety of the movie.
The action could have been the saving grace, and they couldn't even get that right.
No, it felt reckless. The
Mhm.
action felt reckless. A Predator is supposed to be like tactical
Right.
and like thinks things through before jumping into the fray, but no, it's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah, there's like no thought to it. Every kill in that movie is just thoughtless, generic, plain. I mean, it's almost like the film turned into a slasher film. There's just no imagination to it.
Well, it turned into a slasher film without the tension building of it.
Exactly.
Like it
There's no
didn't
tension.
even it turned into a slasher movie that was way too fast paced. You can't have a fast paced slasher. That's not how it
No.
works.
Fast paced, can't see what's going on, and no connection to any of the characters that are getting killed off.
Oh, yep. I think that guy died.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is like you couldn't even see like sometimes who even got killed.
Mhm.
It'd be like a scene later, it's like, oh, that guy's not in the group now. Oh, he must have been the one that got killed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie might actually go down as one of the big bottom feeders of science fiction. It's not that far away from Battlefield Earth. I mean it's still
It's
pretty above it, but
but it's still pretty
it's
bad.
it's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say a 1 for me on that one. And then AVP, yeah, I go with a 3.5 or a 4 because there is a lot of redeeming qualities. And actually, when that movie's even on TV still, I'll watch it.
I'll
It's still a
watch
good
it.
watch.
Yeah. It is a good
Mhm.
movie. It's a
Mhm.
good watch. There is a fantastic cast of characters,
Mhm.
all with very there's a lot of depth.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was actually pretty well done. And it's actually a shame that the same people that did that one didn't do the sequel because they probably could have made it 10 times better than what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the Alien franchise as a whole, it's literally a sinking ship. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know even what to say.
Well, it's hard because when you peak at your first and second film,
Yeah.
and you just want to do everything you can with it to reach that peak again. And
Mhm.
they went out of their way to bring in new ideas, but a lot of them were not well received
Mm-mm. I
because
mean,
they
3,
didn't make sense.
no. 3 had its redeeming qualities. I mean, 3 was still a good watch. It still did a lot of things right.
Mhm.
But it's
Three
like after
was
3,
three was so interesting. I can't
yeah,
get over three.
3 had provided 3 actually would have been okay to finish the franchise on. You know,
Yeah.
Ripley dies at the end. It felt
Mhm.
like the end.
Right.
Resurrection, when you watch it now, it just feels like it was a cash grab.
Right. Oh, Resurrections felt like a reboot before reboots were a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they
And
wanted to bring Ripley back. But it almost the way that movie plays out, it almost acts like a comedy with the
very
pacing and the
spoofy.
timing. Yeah, but like
Mhm.
the entire sequence of the troops trying to use escape pods to get out of the thing, it almost feels like Spaceballsy. Like that's how it feels.
Yeah, because if you compare that to sequences from Aliens, it doesn't even compare. There's no raw tension. There's no like, oh my god, where is it? Where is it? Is
There's
it
too
behind
much
him?
urgency. Yeah.
Right. And the way it's shot, edited, that movie just as a whole, how everything is done, it doesn't feel like it's a piece of the first 3.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It feels like the ugly duckling.
After 3, it completely falls off the wagon, and then they're just like, we got to think of something, so let's take a bunch of ideas, throw it at a board, and see what we can figure
Yeah.
out.
It's like AVP was trending it up towards the right direction just to bottom it out again.
Yeah. But it's too bad.
It's too bad. But that's the Alien franchise on the whole.
That's the Alien franchise.
So we're reaching the end of 2022. There's only a couple, I think there's only one big movie that's left this year,
Mhm.
and that's Avatar. I really wanted to do a podcast on the best and worst of 2022
Yeah.
now that we're coming to the end. Where Avatar is going to fall in that, I highly doubt it's going to fall in the worst category.
It's either going to be really good or it's going to be the long wait didn't pay off.
That's what scares me. It's like
This scares a lot of people.
I've been talking about for months how I was not really had no sort of excitement to see it.
Right.
And I've been watching more trailers and TV spots, and I'm like, okay, it's piquing my interest a little bit more than what it was a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not looking forward to sitting through a 3-hour and 20-minute Avatar movie.
Right. Yeah.
That's my biggest gripe. I wish it was a little bit shorter. But we'll see. I have a feeling that, like you said, I have a feeling it's going to reach the moment where it's still going to feel like too little, too late. I can't imagine it's going to make it. I can't believe it's going to be so good to the point where we're going to feel like, oh, this was worth the wait. I want to see more. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be one of those films where it's going to be okay. It's going to be good, but it's going to feel like the ship has sailed.
Right. It's weird that you mention like the best of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't see much when it comes to the popularity of everything.
No, there really was not too many like big summer blockbusters that we're accustomed to this year. And I think a lot of it had to do with because we're still kind of in that phase where the pandemic's still kind of affecting the release schedules.
Right. Like it's not like I will say this is that Multiverse of Madness is definitely not in the upper for me. Because there are a
not
lot
memorable
more
for me.
Better, yeah, it's not memorable. Mm-hmm. Sure, it made a lot of awesome creative decisions, but it's just like we've seen so many Marvel movies now. It's almost like we're desensitized by it.
Yeah, that's something I want to talk about too on that podcast because the Marvel movies have become kind of the story of this year and kind of the downward slope that they seem to be going down, and it's kind of scares me about what next year's going to bring because they've kind of gotten to the point now where any excitement I've had for a Marvel movie and the continuation of a story has almost completely disappeared with these last phase of movies.
Right.
So
I think that we could be looking at some animated films taking the cake on these because I really enjoyed Lightyear. Lightyear was a fantastic animated film.
Dark Horse. Yep.
And then we're looking at the biopics that have come up this year.
There's a lot of biopics this year.
I have to see Weird. I still have to see that
because I haven't seen that yet either.
I want to, and I also need to see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nicolas Cage.
I did see that. That movie's interesting. I don't even know what to say.
I know it is, and I'm still wanting to see it because I
still see it. Yeah,
I'm a Nicolas Cage fan.
I'm glad that Nicolas Cage made it because I feel like his career is kind of on the upswing now. I really do. I feel like he's going to make a comeback because they even greenlit National Treasure 3 finally after all this time.
Well, is it National Treasure 3 or are they doing that series on
the
Disney
series
Plus?
And then the movie?
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
I think Nick Cage is even going to cameo. I think I heard in the series too. It's going to kind of tie it into the third movie.
Fingers crossed.
I hope so because that franchise was on a pretty good roll with those two movies. Both movies were really strong and really good, and I was kind of disappointed that it's taken so long. But it seems like that is getting back on the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone has any movies from this year that they'd like to recommend to us, please let us know so that we can take a look.
Yeah, I know definitely the one that I want to see, and I don't even know if it's coming out before year's end. Is The Whale?
I wanted to see that is on my watch list.
I want to see when that's supposed to come out. I want to see because that might qualify as a year's end thing if it comes out before the end of the year.
It is a 2022 film.
Is it?
Yep.
It is coming out December 9th. Okay, so that will qualify.
Oh,
no.
I need to see that one.
Oh,
Brendan
yeah, most
Fraser
definitely.
deserves his comeback.
I cannot wait for his comeback. He is somebody that I thought in the 2000s that was a hell of an actor, and I think he was just starting to find his own, and then he's disappeared.
Yeah, and then he had all that drama and internal Hollywood and everything.
Yeah, he already said he's not going to go to the Golden Globes this year, even if he gets nominated.
100%. I totally agree with that decision.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't give in to that. He had the principle. He had the right idea. Don't give in.
He deserves so much better than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think he might take home the Oscar for that role, based on everything I've heard anyway.
Right. I really hope so. Like, that man deserves the world.
Some of my favorite movies of his is still The Mummy, the first Mummy. I think that's one of his best movies. He's fantastic in The Mummy.
It's a chef's kiss movie.
Yeah. I mean, when you compare it to the Tom Cruise one we got a few years ago, oh my God, it doesn't even compare.
That should never have happened. Should never have happened.
And Brendan Fraser nailed it on the head. When he was asked about why that wasn't successful, he said because the new one didn't have the fun that ours had.
Mm-hmm.
And he nailed it.
Because it was the Mummy Impossible. That's what it was.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're really not wrong. It was a supernatural Mission Impossible. Yeah. Wow. But The Whale, I'd say definitely try and see that before the Best of show, because I think that's going to be one that's going to be at the top. I have a feeling that's going to be something that's going to be worth talking about.
Right.
But yeah, so okay, so Alien's done. Best and worst is to come.
We still have the Predator movies to cycle on through.
We do have the Predator movies. We have to pick out. Might have to consult with the other guys on what other series we could dig into. We did talk about Smallville. How are you coming along on that?
I'm at a standstill right now. I apologize for that.
Where'd you stop?
I still haven't gotten past where I was last time, because the holidays have made things extremely busy.
Fair. Hey, you know what though? Martin can't give you no shit on that, because look how long it took him to watch Supernatural.
Oh my gosh!
So
it took him like an entire year.
Yeah, it felt like ages. I literally went back and looked at when we did the 11 through, or the 6 through 10.
Yeah,
and it was
March.
I was like, are you serious? It was like really that freaking long.
That's it. I mean, it only makes sense that we waited 8 months to get it done, because Supernatural waited 8 months to finish off their last season.
Fitting. It seemed fitting. Yeah, I gave the show our proper farewell. Yeah. So we'll have to discuss another retrospective following Predator. I guess just the question of, do we want to go to a beloved franchise, or do we want to go to a franchise that literally we could rip to shreds and have a lot of jokes and fun with? That's the question.
It's a flip of the coin there, Mike. We could do either one, and I would be okay with it.
It will require a lengthy discussion.
Yes, it would.
Cool. All right. Well, good retrospective. Unfortunately, it's like Kabasic did not join us tonight. He's having some family issues, so completely understand.
Wish him the best.
We'll get him in on the Predator ones. I think he has seen the Predator films, so he'll definitely be back in those, I believe.
Right.
So, all right, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we will see you on the Predator franchise retrospective and the best and worst of 2022. That is a wrap.
Cut and print.
Oh, that was pretty good, wasn't it?
That was a good one.
My next send-off, everybody. We had to come back and we had to laugh at that. See you on the next episode, everybody. Thank you for listening and watching this episode of our podcast. This has been a presentation of LCA Entertainment.